Okay, welcome back. Now we did this part of the notes in my last video where we introduced the complex number I and we simplified our radicals. I wanted to visit something though that I did not mention. You can graph a complex number. So I'm going to set up here in this space a little axes. So number this out to 5. So it's not a regular coordinate plane, it's a complex plane. So your axes are labeled a little differently. The x-axis is going to be your real axis, and the y-axis is your imaginary. So let's graph like about 3 or 4 of these. I'm going to plot them on here. It's real easy to plot. So if I have -3 minus I, I'll just kind of keep it color-coded. So the -3, that's my real part, so I'll go to the left 3, and then -I is like -1I, that would go down 1. So it's kind of like the ordered pair -3, -1, but this is -3 minus I. So you kind of start right in the center like we did, on a regular coordinate plane. So this one, let's do 2 plus 3I. Okay, so if I start here in the center, I go to the right 2, that's my real maneuver, and then I go up 3. So that's my 2 plus 3I. Then what if you just have one part of it? So let's just say I have like a -4I. Well, I would start here. I wouldn't have any maneuver to the right or left because I don't have any real part. I would go down 4I. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be -4I. Okay, so I know on the practice and exit tickets you guys might be asked to plot a few of your complex numbers. So there's a little lesson. Okay, now we need to get to the adding, subtracting, and multiplying with this video. So you guys are going to find this pretty reasonable because it kind of aligns with your polynomials. When you add and subtract and multiply polynomials, you look out for like terms, you combine them, same way with subtracting. So I'm just going to go through these examples. So this first one is just addition. So my real parts would be the 6 and the 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10. And my imaginary parts is 5i and -7i. So 5 minus 7 is -2i. And that's as simple as I can get it. Now this is standard form for a complex number. You like your real part first, and then your imaginary part second. So it's kind of like at the top it said a plus bi. That's kind of the way I'm always going to answer mine when I simplify it. Even if I have to flip things around, I'll do that. Okay, now this one's subtraction. So when I do subtraction, I'm going to rewrite. The first one stays the same, but I'm going to distribute the negative. So this becomes plus 5 minus 4i. Okay, now I can combine like terms. So 12 plus 5, -13 minus 4. And then we've got 3 parts here. I've got one subtraction piece and one addition, so I'm going to distribute that negative, and I'm going to recopy it. So that'll be -3 minus I. And then I'm just going to make this, since it's plus a negative, -9 plus I. Like this one I didn't change at all because that was addition. It's just there's my -9 and there's my I. Now you want to combine like terms. So 8 minus 3 is 5 minus 9 is -4. And then -2i minus I is -3i plus I. It's back down to -2i. So we've got those all left in their standard form. Now remember, when you multiply these complex numbers, you're going to generate an I squared. In the last video, we said that I squared, and that's the top of this paper, was defined to be a -1. So I just gave you a little reminder here. Whenever you see an I squared, you have to replace it with a -1. So this first one, just like regular polynomials, I'm going to have to FOIL. So 2 times 4, and then take the 3i through. Now right here, this I squared, I'm going to replace with a -1. And really all that does is it changes whatever the sign is on the number that's attached to the I squared, it changes it to its opposite. So this is going to become a +15. So now when I combine like terms, I'm going to get 23 for my real part. That's 8 plus 15, and then 2i for my imaginary part. So that's as simple as I can get my FOIL. Now number 11, we're not really foiling because it just has a single term there, but I do have to distribute. So that'll be 21i minus 3i squared. So here's that I squared again. So that's the same thing as a -1, which is going to change this -3 to a +3. Now I'm going to flip this one around because right now it's not in standard form. I want my real part first, and then my imaginary part. So a little flipperooski there. Okay, this one here is another FOIL. So I'm going to go ahead and work that through. That'll be 12. Okay, combine like terms. Here's that I squared again, that's a -1. Now this one is a +12 to begin with. So that's actually going to change to a -12. So 72 minus 12 is going to give me 60. And then -16 minus 54, that's going to be -70i. Okay, so that was adding, subtracting, and multiplying. And don't forget about I squared. See you later.